everyone! So today we're going to finish up our turtle, and we're going to need our glue and our Q-tips and also our colored rice or colored Epsom salt. The first thing we're going to do is pick one shape, and we are going to fill these shapes with just one color. So I'm going to start with the squares, and I'm going to add some glue to the center of all 4 of my squares. And then I'm going to use the Q-tip to smooth out that glue all the way to the edges of that square. And you want the glue a little bit thick because it's got to hold down the rice or the Epsom salt. Once you're done smoothing out your glue, you're going to pick a color that you want to use for all of those squares, and we're just going to sprinkle it on the center. And it's okay if it gets all over your page because as of right now, this is the only spot that we have glue, so the rice should only stick to those areas. We're going to use our Q-tip and our fingers to move the rice into the squares and move them around the square so they all fit. Once you're done moving all the rice into the squares, you can lift up your paper to get the excess rice or the excess Epsom salt off of your page. Once you've finished with one color, we're going to go ahead and get our glue and put it in the other shapes, which is the circle for me. I'm going to start adding my colors, and I'm going to continue to do the same thing that I was doing with the purple, which was pushing those little pieces of rice into the circle shape and using my finger and Q-tip to make sure that they fit. And we're just going to continue on for all the shapes on our turtle. Now that you've finished with all the shapes, we need to move on to the legs. So what we're going to do is we're going to add glue to one of the legs, and then we're going to add the color green. And we want to continue to do this just like we were doing with the shapes, where we take the glue and we spread it out all over the leg, and then pour the green rice or Epsom salt right on that spot, and then we move on to the other legs and also the tail. Once you've finished putting all the green on all 4 of the legs and also the tail, we're going to start by adding glue to the back of the shell. If you think that this step is going to be too hard, you can always use crayons or marker to color it in. But what we do is we trace around the shapes using the glue in small sections. So for right now, I'm just going to do the top part of the shell, very carefully bringing the glue all the way around the shapes. And then I'm going to use my Q-tip again and spread the glue out in those areas. You have to be very careful with this step because you don't want to have a bunch of glue outside of the shell or on the other shapes. If some of the rice moves from one of the shapes, you can use the Q-tip or your finger to put it back in place. Once you have your glue all spread out in the section that you needed, you're going to take another color and sprinkle it on. When you sprinkle it on in this area, you really want to be careful that you're trying to get right where the glue is. You can always pick up the pieces that fall into the other shapes, but it's a lot easier if you try to get it placed down in the right area the first time. I use my finger for this technique because it seems to be a lot easier and I have more control of where the rice goes when I use my finger. It just means that I'll get a little bit of glue on my finger and I need a paper towel to wipe the glue off. But we're going to continue to put this rice all the way around the entire shell using the same technique. Now that you've finished your shell and you've put all the rice in all the spots that you wanted, we're going to let it dry. Once it's finished drying, you can actually go back and color in the face of the turtle and color in the background. Now this turtle lives on land, so I'm going to go ahead and color in the background with maybe some rocks and some plants, but you could make yours a sea turtle and have an ocean with some fish and whatever you'd like. I hope you had fun with this project.